What is going on, guys? Will Blandon. Today just gonna be a rant. I'm sorry, I apologize. It's not really gonna be a structured video. And it's gonna be a holding company rant on why I truly believe you need at very least start a side hustle, preferably a service-based business, something you can get going today. You could literally start a service business today, and by the end of the year turn it into a holding company, and that holding company can eventually get you in the door where you could start buying real estate. I'll give you an example of a service-based business that you could create right now in the pandemic. Start making money like tonight. A guy mentioned it to me that he has all this equipment and all this stuff to start washing cars. He literally could start washing a car a day until he gets 5 clients a day, which could turn into, you know, $40, $50, $60,000 a year just washing cars at his home. I told another lady where I'm currently renting from, start selling plates of food. It's Puerto Rican, empanadas, chicken, rice, beans. She currently now is making probably about an extra $100 a day, which in my opinion is better than doing Uber and Lyft, because you have a lot less overhead. You know, you're buying the foods, you got food stamps. You can start making some nice dishes out of your home. You maybe give it to a neighbor or two for free, give them a plate, try this, I'm gonna start selling plates. You let them know the government's not on your ass right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. They're not gonna get you for taxes, you know, but I do recommend after you make more than about $12,000 a year, which you could do that in a matter of months, selling plates, then you turn it in slowly into a real business. You set up maybe a regular LLC. You know, if you're more advanced like me, you go right into a holding company, put all your funds from that first hustle into your holding company. Later, you create an operating company under your holding company. You start getting people to pay for the plates in the name of the business. You know, if they're paying by credit card or whatever, cash is cash, you know. And then now you have a real business making you $60,000 to $100,000 a year, and your holding company is fully funded. Now, what I'm doing, I'm going a step further. I not only set up a holding company, but what I'm doing is I'm gonna have a company build the corporate credit in the background. So by next year, the ultimate goal is by next year, we'll have enough corporate credit to deploy and actually buy or put down on a piece of property. And that could be as little as $50,000, because I'm probably going to take a mortgage in my own name. What I probably would do is close in the name of a trust. And the reason why I'm using the vehicle of a trust is because that trust can be owned by a operating company, and the operating company is owned by my holding company. So I was able to do that and close on the house without it being in my personal name. Remember, I'm closing under the trust. Even though it's a mortgage, a lot of mortgage companies will allow you to close on that property in the name of a trust. And the trust can be owned by the beneficiary, can be later turned over to the LLC, which will probably be an operating company just to hold my real estate. And that LLC will be in turn owned by my current holding company. All my money is segregated, so I can't be sued personally. If it's a rental property, they're going to make the check out to either the trust or the holding company that holds the trust. Either way. Preferably, I would have wanted to go straight to the holding company if I'm renting it out, or a portion of the rent. And then you got to start thinking about bringing on teams. You got to start thinking about building a team. And recently I have a young lady who's a friend of mine, and she's got some recent personal problems. Her credit is no longer, through no control of her own, her credit is no longer what it used to be. I'm actually going to help her, kind of in a way as an experiment. You know, I'm helping her as a friend, yes, but it's also an experiment, meaning that if I can get this person to not only provide, because all she has to do is bring in, the deal is I'm going to help her get her into a place that I'm staying in. All she has to do is contribute $100 a day, which is about, I don't know, do the math, but probably about extra 30 grand a year. And that alone is additional funds that I could put into my holding company. You could look at it like that. In return, I'm going to help her get her credit right, providing a roof over her head, and she can slowly save extra money to maybe later go purchase a property on her own, go get her own place if she so chooses, repair her credit. So I'm bringing this person on the team. If you're watching, how you doing, Angela? I'm talking about you. I may bring her in a future videos, possibly, but she's going to be an experiment in a way of, can I actually do what I preach? Not only with myself. I already know I can do it myself, guys. I'll be honest with you. I already seen what they've done for my credit. I've already seen what they're starting to do in the background for my corporation's credit. But if I can bring this person on and they not only give me additional funds, but I can help them possibly set up a LLC partnership arrangement with her, the possibilities are endless. But I'm going to bring her aboard. She's definitely an asset in a way of I can trust her financially to hold monies, transfer monies if necessary. So that's out of the way. You know, unlike in the past, I've associated with a lot of people that were former supposedly drug addicts, criminals, but this young lady is none of those. So I'll be able to sleep good at night knowing that at least that part is covered. The trust is there. So I can work with her, help her get back on her feet. At the same time, she'll be helping me put additional funds in my account. And everything should be good as pie. Hopefully down the line, she'll continue working with me to help grow my business, as possibly help grow hers. And I hope to do this over and over again. And I hope to bring her on the channel and let her talk about her experience, and hopefully do this over and over again with other future people. You know, this is kind of like my charity, to just do it like this, because if you guys contact me, there's going to be probably an hourly fee involved. Just so you're aware, there may be monies up front I want. In addition, I'm doing this solely because she's a personal friend of mine now. So I'm going to help her get back on her feet, and I am going to capitalize on that. I'm going to benefit in a way of, she's going to be putting money that I'm going to in turn put in my holding company and help me grow my company that way. She's in the transportation industry just like I am, so I may just have her just come aboard my transportation company, possibly even run it. That didn't even dawn on me till now. I could probably set up my transportation company, let her control that, and this way I can focus on other things like building my online YouTube channel, my Z-Integrity sales, stuff like to that effect. So that's the ultimate goal, is you got to bring on people on your team you could trust, so you can expand what you're trying to do. You know, and the holding company is probably the perfect vehicle. A service-based company, side hustle, holding company, that you could find a way to just fund it. If you could get to the point where you could fund a holding company with $5 grand a month outside of the money you need to live, you will be successful doing all this, because that alone will qualify you for enough in funds to go out and purchase real estate, actual brick and mortar businesses, if that's the way you want to go. The possibilities are going to be endless, guys. Once I get this corporate credit going, the possibilities are endless. I truly believe that if you could pull this off in a pandemic, and it just gets better. You know, when this pandemic is all over and you go to just starting this stuff and starting to build a holding company and funding it with your side hustle, this stuff is just going to be so much easier if we weren't in the pandemic, because you'll better just sell. But a lot of places you can't sell that way because of the pandemic. But if I'm able to pull it off in the pandemic, finding side hustles in the pandemic, so when you see this video a year from now, 2 years from now, you got to think, this dude's doing it in the worst time in probably financial history. So why can't I start something now? That's what you got to look at this as. Especially if you're watching it months later, years later. This is definitely the worst of my lifetime, but they're saying it might possibly be financially the worst time in history. And if you're successfully able to bring in extra funds and do this stuff, you're going to save in taxes. Now, don't get me wrong, the holding company don't save in taxes just being a holding company. But I have an S-Corp election. It's set up in another state that has anonymity, so nobody will know I even own this company. I will have a check cut to myself as if I'm just an employee. If you just got a website and your website is making more than 12 grand a year, get an LLC, get that website money into your holding company. If you prefer, just start a operating company. Later, turn that into a holding company. There's ways you could do that. But I do know you don't want your holding company to do business with anyone. This is why I start that first. Before you even set up any entity, just get your side hustle down, square, making you enough money. If you only need to live on $2 grand a month, bring in 3. You know, it's simple mathematics. You need to live on 3, maybe you want to bring in 5. If you got to bring in partners, family members, friends, whatever you got to do to have a successful company making money. And deploy this money, stack as much money and credit as you can while 2020 is still here. Because early next year, there's going to be some real estate opportunities. There's going to be very inexpensive vehicles, which I love because I'm in transportation. So I'm going to want to deploy credit to purchase vehicles for like 5 to 10 grand, get people in those vehicles, and that's another $100,000 business right there. You got to be driven with this stuff. You can't come half-assed. We're in a pandemic. You got to grind. You got to find your niche. You got to find your hustle. Like this young lady that's coming in on my team, she's talking about she's good at making crafts and selling them, whatever. She's got some furniture she's gonna be able to sell and get some profit from that. That'll work. We'll get that on Craigslist, start making some money right away. Day one, we're gonna start listing some stuff on Craigslist because she's not gonna need a lot of it. Let's get it going. Let's get some money. Let's get some money in the account to fund my holding company. And later I hope to bring on more people as far as partners, but they're going to partner with my holding company, not me as an individual, because that's going to further shield me from that particular company making a mistake or doing something wrong. It doesn't affect me over here because it's my holding company you're doing business with. It's in a state where it's anonymity, you don't know I own it, so no lawsuits will come my way personally. That's the goal of the holding company, to shield your assets. If you got some stocks you own, some Bitcoin, you might want to possibly put that. I wouldn't even have my Bitcoin and assets directly in my holding company. I would probably set up an investment company solely for that purpose as an operating investment company, and then have that owned by my holding company. That's how I would structure it, for safety that I may do something wrong over here in the investment company. It's possible, you know, and that investment company could have or invest in real estate itself, you know, so I could do another real estate deal with that particular operating company if I so choose. And then my only paycheck will be from my holding company. I'm not married right now, so I'm going to be shielded from a lot of future crap that may go on with that. You know, in the event that I get married and divorced, I've already got that planned out. This is the power of being more corporate. This is the power of having a LLC. So if you want to hear more about this stuff, I do have links below. Get on my email list. Subscribe, like, comment. I appreciate you guys' time, and I hope to go into more detail about this stuff and about how you can get started. I'll catch you guys in the next video.